Good day. Here are the stories for the Manila Times for Friday, August 6, 2021. Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson said on Thursday he offered Vice President Maria Leonor Leni Robredo a sure unification formula for the 2022 elections, but she resisted. Lacson said he would not disclose the details, which his running mate, Senate President Vicente Tito Soto III, already knows. Lacson said he thought choosing a common candidate between him and Robredo was a good idea, but the vice president rejected it. He said Robredo is definitely open to running for president in 2022. Barry Gutierrez, the vice president's spokesman, said supporting anyone else for president is not yet being considered. The first option is still very clear for VP Leni to run. Crowd swarmed COVID-19 vaccination sites in Manila on Thursday, a day before the enhanced community quarantine is imposed in Metro Manila. As many as 22,000 people trooped the vaccination centers set up by the city government in SM San Lazaro, SM Manila, Lucky Chinatown, and Robinson's Place, Manila, police estimated. At SM San Lazaro, from 7,000 to 10,000 lined up for inoculation. 5,000 went to SM Manila, 3,000 to Lucky Chinatown, and 4,000 to Robinson's Place, Manila. Normally, a vaccination center can only accommodate 1,000 to 2,000 individuals. The police said people from outlying provinces such as Cavite, Laguna, Rizal, and Bulacan arrived at the vaccination sites in big groups. Carlo Paalam entered the gold medal round at the Tokyo Olympics on Thursday with a unanimous decision win over Japanese Ryomei Tanaka in the men's flyweight boxing competition semifinals at the Kokugikan Arena. 4 judges scored 30-27 in favor of Paalam, while the 5th judge scored 29-28 in favor of Tanaka. Paalam will vie for the gold medal on Saturday against Yafai Galal of Great Britain at the same venue. The 23-year-old Filipino boxer from Cagayan de Oro displayed aggression balanced with prudence against his Japanese foe. The One Hospital Command Center on Thursday said it is ready to handle the increase in the number of COVID-19 cases in the Philippines brought by the Delta variant. The Department of Health issued a statement after the country reported an additional 116 cases of the highly infectious variant of COVID-19, 95 of which were locally transmitted. Of the 95 local cases, 83 were from the National Capital Region, 3 from Calabarzon, 4 from Central Visayas, 2 from Davao, and 1 each from Zamboanga, Cagayan Valley, and Ilocos regions. Delta variant cases were also recorded among returning overseas Filipinos, although 20 of which were still being verified if local or imported cases. The total number of Delta cases in the country to date is 331. All recorded local Delta variant cases were tagged as recovered. At least half of the residents of Metro Manila are expected to be fully vaccinated by the end of the 2-week enhanced community quarantine, Malacanang said on Thursday. The projection comes as the government reported that 10 million Filipinos have received full protection against COVID-19, which was a very important milestone in our national vaccination program. The government has granted the request of the region's mayors for an additional 4 million vaccines, which will be administered during the 2-week lockdown, Roque said. Metro Manila will transition to an enhanced community quarantine from general community quarantine with heightened and additional restrictions on Friday to check a COVID-19 surge driven by the highly transmissible Delta variant. Roque said people who are scheduled for vaccination will be allowed to leave their residence. The Senate and the House of Representatives have ratified the bicameral report on the Bureau of Fire Protection Modernization Bill. Senate Bill 1832 and its counterpart in the House of Representatives, House Bill 7406, mandate the BFP to develop and implement a fire protection modernization program. The ratified bicameral report reconciled the disagreeing provisions of the 2 bills. The Department of Justice ordered the National Bureau of Investigation to investigate the alleged hoarding of oxygen tanks and other medical supplies in Cebu and other parts of the country. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara issued Department No. 182, directing NBI Officer in Charge Eric Distor to investigate the matter as the country grapples with the rising number of COVID-19 cases induced by the virulent Delta variant. Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia on Wednesday issued an executive order regulating the sale of medical oxygen in the province. Over to business, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has emphasized the importance of non-monetary interventions in reducing inflation pressures in the country. In a statement released on Thursday, Central Bank Governor Benjamin Diokno said the continued implementation of direct non-monetary interventions to ease supply constraints remain crucial in tempering inflation pressures. Previous non-monetary initiatives by the government to reduce inflationary pressures in recent months have included price controls, lower import duties on pork and rice, and an increase in meat importation via the minimum access volume. According to Diokno, The increase in international commodity prices due to supply chain constraints and a resurgence in global demand could put upward pressure on inflation. The emergence of new COVID-19 variants, on the other hand, is posing adverse risks to demand and inflation, as are delays in easing lockdown measures. In other Olympic news, Filipino golfers Yuka Saso and Bianca Pagdanganan were overwhelmed by opponents in the second day of women's individual stroke play on Thursday at the Tokyo Olympics at the Kasumi Gaseki Country Club. After carding a dismal 74th on Wednesday, Saso fired a 368 for an even par through 2 rounds. Saso, the reigning US Women's Open champion, ended the day tied for 34th place with 4 other players. The 20-year-old Saso incurred a bogey on the 5th hole before finishing the front 9 strong by tallying birdies on the 6th and 8th holes. Saso hit another bogey on the 11th hole before finishing a birdie on the 14th, 16th, and 18th holes. Pagdanganan carded an even par 71 in the second round for a total of 2 under 140. She scored a strong 2 under 69 in the first round, which catapulted her to 7th place in the 60-player field. She dropped to a tie for 27th place with 2 others. Rigoberto Tiglao and Ruben Torres are today's front page columnists. Tiglao hits the media over the forecast of COVID-19 cases and election choices, both made by Octo Research, while Torres discusses the virus and poverty. Today's editorial discusses the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and its dilemma in the South China Sea. Read a full version on the paper's opinion section or listen to the Voice of the Times. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to its digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and keep up with the Times. On behalf of the Manila Times, this is Arik John C. reporting. Have a safe Friday ahead.